Okay, I think we're ready to begin. I'm going to mute everybody. Give me 1 second. Okay, well, welcome everyone to our Saturday morning training call here. It's Don Carson, Triple Diamond with Valentus. Very excited to share with you for the next 30 minutes some key nuggets of information that I believe is really important to starting this business off right and taking it to the next level if that's what your desire is. Obviously, being on this call leads me to believe that you are. Hopefully we can spend a little time here and I can share a little bit about of who I am and where I'm going with this business with my wife and just how excited we are. First and foremost, it's just so darn exciting to hear the different locations that are calling in and saying where they're from, and we're just watching this explode before our very eyes. It's fascinating considering, I'm not a traditional network marketer. I'm more of a traditional success business person. So when I get a chance to realize just what I have now in my hot little hands, I thank every day that goes by that Mike McClanahan and Ted Wilson hit me over the head and said, Don, you just need to take a look. So, just a complete call out to those two fellows, my mentor, Ted Wilson, who's been, just bringing me along to make me understand the nuances of just this people business. And that's really what I wanted to kind of start off with and really I'm hoping everybody on the call to understand, which is the key to success for my wife and I and this direction we've taken this product line, so to speak, through one of our companies. So, we are traditional business people, and ultimately you've got to get out of your own way. And what I've seen so far in our early movement, as I like to call it, of sharing this great opportunity and this great, incredible product line, is that there's some people that should be further along than they are, and that's really at their own because of their own fault. They've just got on their own way. They can't get out of their own way. So, what I'm discovering more and more is just by relating some of the stories I'm going to share with you, and what we've done is, keep it simple. You've heard this before. I mean, obviously, there's people that are keeping it simple, and it's working for them. It's the complication that people bring to the system and to what we're doing here, which tends to slow them down and bog them down. So, here are the couple of things. So product of the product is an expression that, really resonates for my wife and I, and it's actually been, really the starting point of what we looked at when we started in the company, which was the product first. We had to make sure the product had to work for us because I'm a brand guy. I have to believe what I have, and I have to be able to put my name behind it. I have some credibility in our marketplace, in a sense. So, when I'm considering putting my name behind a product, I wanted to make sure that I absolutely believed that the product would be there for me and my wife and we'd get the benefits. So no question about it, the products work. So we then follow a simple process, which is we use them, they share them, and we repeat. We use, we share, repeat. We use, we share, repeat. And by being a product of the product and constantly reminding the people that we run into that we're, absolutely unshakably in belief of what this product's doing for us, we're able to share it with them by using, the three principles that I keep continually bringing home to our team, which is to keep the word yes in everything we say. So the first little nugget here is the word share, which is instead of sell. Make sure that you're sharing what you have all the time with everybody that you come in contact with, and make sure that whatever you say to them, there's no in anything you say. So the word share is instead of sell, so nobody wants to be sold. The word yes is instead of no, which means you'll love this, not I think you'll love this. I can't wait until you get on the product. You're going to get amazing results, which is, it may work for you. Why don't you try it and see what it does? That's a no. So you've got to fill your expressions when you're a product of the product with constant yeses in everything you say. The we part of my three words, which I've touched on in another training I did a few months back, is really the important point to let people know that they're not alone. So every time you express anything to anybody about keeping this simple, show them that they're not alone by saying, my partners and I, we have introduced this amazing product. We would love you to get the results today that we know you're going to have. And I'm combining the we so that we are more than one. People want to know that they're not alone when they get started. And I think that's an important nugget to start our training off today, is to, first off, keep it simple, use three basic words in everything you do, which is the word share, by not selling them, share whatever it is that you're sharing with them that day, either the opportunity or the product. Use the word yes rather than no, so that you express to them in positive reinforcing words at all times that they will be successful, this is for them, and you've made the right decision. That's the yes. And of course the we is letting them know that it's not just them that's going to be set off and off on their way. Now, what leads me to the second part about branding and being a brand guy, which my traditional business successes have been because I represented some brands that I helped introduce in the Canadian market exclusively and ran with them to make an awful lot of money for my family. But, out of that creation of that wealth comes a problem with cash flow to try to keep those things. And so part of my why for being here and looking at this opportunity originally was to be able to keep and find some sort of cash flow which would be residual. And that's what Valentus has taught me, is that there's a true constant flow of rewarding referral dollars as a result of me and my wife sharing this incredible product and opportunity. So we brand ourselves, and I think that that's the key here for the second nugget, which is you've got to become first and foremost a product of the product. Use, share, repeat, and then brand yourself and what that brand that you want to express to the people around you looks like. Well, what does it look like? Well, are you taking a before and after? In our case, our before and after, in my wife's case, compelling after, I'm going to say it, her butt is amazing. I mean, it started off amazing, but it's absolutely incredibly amazing. And so when she shows her after, and Nancy tends to, send out a little text picture of this now to some of her girlfriends that have known her for many, many years. And it's like the most important expression my wife has shared with me in the last month or two and three has been, first off, just add water, because that's keeping it simple. That's what our program is, 4 great functional beverages that you just add water. That's simple. And she now describes, and for those of you that can, maybe I'm aging myself, but or aging some of the young little girls that are now women on the phone. At one time, there was a success story in the world called the Cabbage Patch, and my wife described what we have here like the Cabbage Patch. I mean, people are after more coffee. Do you have more? Do you have more? I'm out. Do you have more? Do you have more? I'm out. And Nancy said to me, Don, we have the Cabbage Patch Kid. We have, that's a trademark, by the way, so don't say you can go and say that's your own, but I'm just saying that little analogy helps me understand what it is that we have in our hot little hands here. We have something that is absolutely wanted by so many. So by becoming products of the product and branding ourselves now and showing a before and after, we are able to get started quickly in our business. And I think that's the next nugget that I'd like to cover here, is that all of you on the call here are looking for, more time, more money, obviously. You're looking for the ability to share, the good health of our products with the people that you care, love, and run into and want to help. So those 3 little things are there for us. But the people that just can't get out of their own way are asking a zillion questions and not starting. Whereas the people that just do it, like that great trademark Nike says, just do it, are the ones that are finding they're creating more time, money, and success. So just starting is important. I mean, there's a great pictorial view that I describe in different trainings that I do now, where we have one side of the room that, asks a billion questions, and the other side of the room that just goes out and does it. And the just goes out and does it group just tends to learn together as they grow their organizations. Whereas the one that stands there and asks a million questions, what color is the box? What color is the packaging? I need to know the compensation plan inside and out. Those people tend to not get off with ground zero. They just can't seem to make that crossover from being a silver to a gold to a platinum to a ruby to an emerald to eventually a diamond and so on. So I think the most important nugget on this part of the training is to make sure that you find a way to simply brand yourself and get started and learn with your team as you're going. Now, don't get me wrong. Knowledge is key here. I mean, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. I mean, you've maybe heard that expression before. And, there's so many people out there that do need some knowledge. Yeah, so obviously educating yourself is important here. And part of that education is going to come from you finding a mentor. And that's part of the comp plan that I really appreciate, is that, we're rewarded on helping people do better and better and better. So for that, those people that we're helping should look in their enroller tree in their back office and see who their upline 3 leaders are and reach out to them. Find out who they are and see who you can relate to. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very common sense sort of way of thinking, my wife and I, when we first started to have success many, many years ago. We surrounded ourselves by 5 to 7 people that were making more money than us. And that's another nugget for you. By finding some people that you can look at that maybe are already a ruby, maybe that are already an emerald, maybe a diamond, a double, a triple, and you can get into some sort of circle where you can share some ideas and mastermind with them. There's a good book that I read many, many years ago that described to me, if you have a chance to sit in a room with the 5 people that are important to you, that you relate to, that you're with the most all the time, and divide their income up by 5, that's probably what you're making for money. So if you want to make more money, does it not make sense? Then you should surround yourself with people that are actually having a bit more success than you are and learn from them. And out of that group, if you can pick 1 or 2 that you can have mentor you, which is bring you along through the process of learning, not waiting till you learned everything to get started, bring you along the process. Success obviously leads to success, and finding that successful person that can help you and teach you will certainly help you. Now, the next kind of point along this path of keeping it simple is that it's so easy to start. And obviously, by the fact it's easy to start, it's easy to quit. And so, what's fascinating to me is I've had some success many, many, many years ago in this industry. And what that did for me 20-something odd years ago was teach me how to develop who I was. And by developing who I was, by the mentoring, so to speak, that came from the learning I did, I was able to go into traditional business with a way different skill set. So I believe that those of you that are entering this business for the first time, the network marketing industry, which is by far the most fascinating, most dynamic, growth-oriented industry in the world, as I said, when I got hit over the head that said, Don, you just need to look at this, I'm thanking them every day now because, to be honest with you, the revenue that is coming through this traditional business now from my Valentus opportunity is absolutely incredibly amazing, and it's probably going to save one of my traditional businesses because the cash flow is helping that business. Now, with that said, I want you to understand that, as it costs so little to get started, it almost, to my way of thinking, I wish cost thousands to get started. Because the mistake people make is they don't even think that they have a business here. $4.99 for a builder pack, if that's your choice, and if that's the direction that you choose to go, which I recommend every and all the time, of course, it's tax deductible. It gives you a business to start with, products and services that you can actually start sharing, back office training materials and websites. But what's important is that if you treat it like a business and start understanding what the enroller tree looks like in your genealogy and how you can drill in, and this is an important little nugget for those of you that haven't done this yet, if you can drill into your enroller tree and select all levels and pick a category in there of, say, Ruby and above, you can drill into that Ruby and above, look at who's on auto ship and who's not. And now you can actually, being that we have a week left in the month, start calling those people so that they don't lose their Ruby status. I mean, obviously they've got to do 100 BV worth of consumption products to be able to maintain that Ruby status. So part of the impression of knowing that you have a business here is to know that we have so many amazing tools that have been handed to us to manage this incredible business. The enroller tree function in your genealogy is key. Learn it. If you're not all on board with it yet, reach up to your upline, find who they are, determine who can help you, and learn how to use that enroller tree to help the people that you have in your organization maintain their rank and not lose it, and obviously keep accumulating the volume because they're consumers first of the product, and the company rewards them with an opportunity to go forward by referring and building a second team if they want, or whatever it is they choose to do in our comp plan. This isn't a comp plan training, but what's important to me is to know how simple it is to drill into my organization using the enroller tree function in your comp plan or in your back office. Now, every minute counts for my wife and I. It's obviously, something that we are, unique in that we are a couple that has, my wife has a business and course, I have a couple of businesses, and there's an awful lot of employees that come through those businesses, and that comes with its own challenges, needless to say. But when we put time into this, we want to make every minute count. So part of keeping it simple for me is to really look at how to eliminate the phone calls from coming in from people asking me question after question after question when I want to build those layers of leadership in our organization. So I find more and more what I'm doing is I'm finding that go-getter that wants to really run with this, that wants to hitch their wagon side by side. I'm not the leader here. I'm just running with them. And when I run with somebody, and I think all of you have to understand this, I want them to know some nuggets as well. So I get into that back office and I start talking to them about this enroller tree more and more, and give them the little bits of nuggets they need to help their people so that the phone calls go to them rather than to me, and I ask them to duplicate that process through their new rubies and so on, so that, again, the phone calls keep stopping from them. So when the phone stops ringing, to me it's like a happy day. The phone ringing with good information, introducing me for a three-way call, is an even happier day. And that is really how we're building our business. We're going into our organization and we're layering in our organization the leadership so that those leaders now can layer in their organization some leadership, and ultimately those people's people are handling the instant questions that come, which will be, what is BV, business volume? What do I need to do to qualify to move up to Ruby, to Emerald, to Diamond? Those questions are simple, but if you're getting asked 10, 15, 100, 1,000 times, it can become stressful. So this is a fun business. If we keep it simple and duplicate simple concepts, you'll find that your business will grow, and it'll be even more fun along the way as your residual income grows. So make every minute count by sharing what you know already, the nuggets, after learning some of them from your mentor, with your layers of people that are getting started. If you only have one person, well, that one person, you can help them get to the point where they know what you already know. As little as you may already know, duplicate yourself in your organization. Now, what's important to know about that is that you have, 86,400 seconds in every day. I mean, that's just the crazy number that we take for granted as just 5 seconds went by as I'm talking here. We don't have a carry forward in our day. If you don't use it wisely, it's gone. So we tend to do something called make deposits and withdrawals on a regular basis. I try to make more deposits than withdrawals. Good example in your health is park a little further away from the door of your grocery store and walk in there when you're going to pick up those groceries. That's a deposit. When you're going through the airport, walk up the stairs with your suitcase rather than an escalator. That's a deposit. A withdrawal is, I tend to like rum and Coke. That's a withdrawal. I'm not a smoker. Okay, that's pretty good. But, once in a while on the golf course or on vacation, I might smoke a cigar. That's a withdrawal. I just got to make sure I do more deposits than withdrawals. And in our day, it's important that we make a deposit in terms of the time we use, and it's important that we use our time wisely. And obviously surrounding yourself with 5 or 6 key people, or layering yourself and working with the people in your organization that want to do this business alongside of you and run with you and have fun with you, is using your time wisely. Okay? So use those seconds, folks. Use them wisely and get the most out of every day. And remember, every second you don't use wisely flushes out and you can never get it back. Well, along the way, we know now in our business that to grow this large company or a building, you have to grow a big, deep foundation. And building that foundation is really all about those layers, but what's really important is teaching people quickly how to get out of their own way. And how do they get out of their own way? They have to be better listeners than talkers at first, and part of it is becoming a three-way call advocate. And, just recently I had one of these gentlemen that is just a master traditional business person, but he can't get out of his own way. And he's frustrating me because as I'm talking, he's talking more. As I'm sharing with him what we need to do, he already knows what to do. And I'm watching him now. He's got a diamond goal by convention, and he's not really getting out of his own way. So I shared with him just the other day, actually 2 nights ago, said, you know what, I won't say his name, you haven't done one three-way call with me, yet you're telling me that people aren't interested. Wait a minute. He's not getting out of his own way. if you're not using your mentors or your upline or the people that are cross-line to you that will help you in a three-way call, you're trapped in your own mind. You need to understand that you've got to surround yourself with success. And by doing that, you've got to program who you are out of the gate. So if you're programming who you are out of the gate by duplicating the simple, proven time and time again ways of building a business, which is three-way calls, you're going to duplicate yourself in your organization, in your layers, and you're going to have success. So there's a book that I always recommend. It's a simple, simple book. It's called Who Moved My Cheese? If you haven't read it, please get out there and read the darn book, Who Moved My Cheese? It describes in detail the simplest nugget of all, which is get out of your own way. Sometimes people get trapped inside a maze, and the cheese could be just around the corner, but they won't look because they're waiting for the cheese that was there the day before in that little spot, and they can't get out of their own way. So they starve and they whittle away, and they complain that the world is awful and there's nothing that's going on that's successful, and woe is me. But guess what? If they could just walk around the corner like their friend that did and find the cheese, they might be able to move forward, get out of their own way, and in our world, build an incredible residual income internationally by just getting out of their own way. So Who Moved My Cheese will help you in this path of understanding how you just got to listen to the people that know and take a little step around the corner, because ultimately surrounding yourself with success is important. Now, I know the convention coming up is absolutely critical to my business. So, I'm excited that I have so many people that are going. It's just absolutely incredible. I spent some time in another company a number of years back, and really just to get back into the business, to understand it. And I remember sitting in a row with one person, two people next to me that came with me to Vegas, and I said, a year from now I'll have a whole row. Well, I knew that the people that had rows and rows of people would come out of the convention and all fired up, right? Because here's what I know. If you empty your wallet into your mind by doing some training, by doing some personal development, by learning from the people that are getting it right, success leads to success. So empty your wallet into your mind will fill your wallet. It's a simple concept. So whatever you got to do to get to convention, my goodness, get there. If you got to borrow money, get there. I'm sorry, you will learn so much. You'll explode out of the business, and you'll help build layers in your business. And ultimately, it's as simple as put the money into your mind by helping you learn, and it'll fill up your wallet. So you got to program yourself. Who are you? What is my belief? Do I have unshakable faith? Am I a product of the product? Do I truly believe the product works? And am I really empowered to share this with everybody I know? Can those people that I know get the benefit of the product? Absolutely they will. I must share this with the people I love and care for first, because 6 months from now, if I don't, my goodness, are they going to be upset if they know how successful I am? So you're empowered to understand that you have to program yourself, believe in this product, feel like sharing it because you have an understanding of what, in fact, this product does, and you'll get, what that's going to do for you is you'll pick up the phone. You'll feel like picking up the phone once you have the belief, and you become a product of the product, and you've programmed yourself by regularly getting on these conference calls, which I congratulate all of you for doing, because that's the key to success. You'll ultimately take action. The success will follow itself. You'll have the lifestyle you always desired, and the rest will take care of itself, because you'll sit back with all of us one day on the beach, and we'll enjoy how successful we are from helping so many others become successful. So it's as simple as that, folks. Fill your bucket with knowledge, becoming personal development, reading, getting to convention, and getting to the point where you can do what you want to do with your life. And ultimately for us, my wife and I, it's getting people that we care about first and giving them an opportunity to take a look. Now, part of the problem with the industry is lots of times you start with the people that you love and care for, and they try to hold you back. Isn't that crazy? They try to hold you back. And part of it is that common men, like other common men, in men's case, I'm just saying, because, they obviously justify to each other that it's okay to be average. So if you're talking to somebody who is just like you, who isn't a step above you, there's a good possibility they're going to tell you, well, you can't do that. That won't work. It's one of those things. And they don't know. So it's a description that I use that describes, like the butterfly and the caterpillar. Some of the people you're going to come across are caterpillars. They're happy to crawl along the ground. But maybe, just maybe, because you called in on this Saturday, you're a butterfly. And you're going to break that cocoon wide open, and you're going to fly around the world spreading this good wealth and health. Health first, because that's really what causes the rest of it to work, is the product working. And the person that's still on the ground is going to say, where do you think you're going? You can't fly. Well, I believe that by getting to convention, you're going to be all able to fly. So I don't know how you get there if you're not already booked. Get yourself there is what I'm going to tell you. But with that said, I know right now that, I'm not average, because I did learn from somebody many, many years ago to look at the books like Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence Others. Jim Rohn, one of my favorite network marketing gurus that taught me so much about life and how life goes through seasons. And ultimately our business goes through seasons. Folks, the person that says no to you just is saying no because you haven't given them enough information today. It doesn't mean no, not for never, forever. It means, wait a minute, you haven't told me enough for me to say yes. So by learning things from conventions and learning things from others, you'll get the ability to have unshakable faith and build that belief that becomes sort of bulletproof in a roundabout way, that nobody can throw you off of the yes that you're throwing in your statements when you're asking them the questions. And you're opening up by using what we call a planned pause so that you can listen to them talk rather than do all the talking. Remember this last little kind of nugget. Sitting on an airplane next to somebody, they'll ask you a question, and you might be reading a book and you're feeling annoyed, but by the end of the flight, they may have talked their face off, and you might have only said 7 words. It's been proven through psychological books that those people that came off the plane that talked and talked and talked and talked, and all you did is say, yeah, well, that's cool, yeah, they'll be interviewed, and they'll say, oh, how did you enjoy your flight? Oh, it was incredible. I sat next to the most interesting person in the world. Isn't that fascinating? You never said a whole lot, but suddenly you're the most interesting person in the world. Why is that? Because you were a listener, you were letting them talk, and that person wants to like themselves first. So get people talking is one of the final nuggets here. Ask the open-ended questions to keep this simple so that you can get them talking. The basic things that the Teds and the others, the Barry Hugheses of the world and the Peggies and Corey and the rest of this amazing leadership team that are coming into the Valentus and continuing to drive us forward are sharing the word form. You've heard it. Get questions about their family, their occupation, their recreation, and are they looking for some more money? Simple little nuggets like, listen, I know you've been in business for a while. I'd love you to take a look at what I'm doing because we're so pumped, my wife and I. We're doing so well. It's so exciting. I don't know if you're open or not, but this is crazy. I think you're going to love this because I can't believe it. I've thrown in a few maybes in there, but I got to tell you, you've got to get them talking. Get them talking, and you'll have some success in your business. It can't be you doing all the talking. In my traditional business, we always say to the salespeople, if you're doing all the talking and you don't pause and let them ask you a question, you're the buyer. Isn't that funny? A hot tub salesman is the buyer with a customer in front of them because the customer never said a whole lot of anything. It's no different in our business, you guys. If you can't get them communicating and opening up to you by keeping it simple and not complicating it, not using technical terms that make them think that this is way, way over their head, you might have or will have a better chance of success in your business. So, we've spent about 28 minutes going through a bit of philosophy here, of getting out of your own way and keeping it simple. I'm absolutely convinced that, the people that I'm working with and my wife and I are working with, and that, is cross-line people and people in our organization and other organizations from Valentus, because it is one big team, Valentus. We're on a path to greatness, you guys. We are seeing exponential growth now. I'm blessed to be in a company that has helped so many people. The stories that we hear over and over again are fascinating. And it just gives me a warm feeling that I'm on the right track and that my wife and I made the right decision to try the product first and to move forward with this incredible story that Dave and Joyce have continually shared across this incredible world. And as we expand together, we will share, in my case, a rum with you, believe it or not, but it might be a martini. You never know. Or maybe just a good glass of water. Maybe that's probably even better. But on the other hand, because that's a deposit, isn't it? On the other hand, I congratulate you for taking 30 minutes out of your busy schedule, letting me share some of the most important things that are important to my wife and I, Nancy. I wish you guys all the success. I hope I see you at convention. God bless everybody. Take care and have a great rest of your day.